Coming up next on This Week in Torrance.
October has been a great month for fundraising. We'll tell you how one holiday event set a record raising money for children with special needs.
Plus, we'll tell you how Lakers Jeannie Buss and journalist Laura Ling inspired hundreds of women at a recent conference.
Then we'll introduce you to this man. He's managed to save the lives of countless in the South Bay, all by one act of kindness.
And October marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Hear one woman's story of how she braved one of the hardest times in her life. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. The annual State of the Region address that was set to take place on Thursday, October 17th, was postponed due to the partial government shutdown. The Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce is working with members of the Congressional Office to determine new dates for the State of the Region address. Originally, Torrance members of Congress Maxine Waters and Henry Waxman were set to take the stage to address local matters, but ended up back in session to avoid a national default. The current deal will fund the government into January 15, 2014, and will increase the debt ceiling through February 7, 2014. The business community is concerned because of the short-term uncertainty the shutdown has created. The Chamber is looking to keep dialogue open with members of Congress to help the business community.
It's that time of year when Californians participate in the Great Shakeout. Nearly 9.5 million people signed up to participate, with over 6 million of those participants being in K-12 schools and 1.5 million from colleges and universities. The Torrance Unified School District is one of many to participate in the Shakeout. Students and school members took part in safety drills and went through their individual emergency kits brought in at the start of the school year. According to the United States Geological Survey, the question is not if, but when Southern California will be hit by an earthquake. To learn more about the Great Southern California Shakeout, go to shakeout.org.
Assemblyman Al Mertsucci is setting high standards after receiving the Legislature Partner of the Year award. He earned the award after heading up the effort to save the Boys and Girls Club of the South Bay. Mertsucci introduced Assembly Bill 835 after he found out the Boys and Girls Club was struggling financially. The bill allows the Boys and Girls Club to modify the terms of their loan and has opened to communication with the Department of Housing and Community Development. The club serves over 4,500 kids and 200 parents in the South Bay area each year.
The Torrance School Board is getting ready to see some changes. Come this November 5th, voters will be asked to choose who they'd like to see fill 3 available seats on the school board. With 4 candidates in the running, residents will get a chance to see each of them speak at an upcoming open forum. There are 3 forums set to take place during the week of October 17th through the 23rd. The candidates include 2 elected incumbents, small business owner Michael Warmers and teacher Mark Steffen, 1 appointed incumbent, Martha Deutsch, and 1 newcomer, John Paul Tabakian, who is an assistant professor of political science at Los Angeles Mission College. Each candidate will have the opportunity to talk about their ability to fill the position. To find your polling place to vote, you can go online to lavote.net. And for more information on the candidates, go to smartvoter.org.
Students across the country will begin seeing some changes in the classroom as teachers begin to implement Common Core state standards. In a nutshell, Common Core is a new teaching format that was adopted in August of 2010 and will be fully implemented in the 2013-2014 school year. This national standard for education will provide a clear understanding of what students are expected to learn and is designed to help guide parents and teachers in creating a consistent learning process for kids across the country. Later this month, TUSD will host a workshop to give parents a demonstration of the new methods of teaching English, language arts, and math. District administrators will be there to answer any questions about the lesson plans. The workshop will be held at J.H. Hull Middle School on October 28th at 6:30 p.m.
Shoppers are in for some good news with the holidays just around the corner. Macy's recently announced they'll be joining other retailers by opening their doors on Thanksgiving Day. The Cincinnati-based chain made the decision after facing pressure from competitors and online retailers for boasting big deals. The retailer will open its doors at 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day and remain open for 24 hours through close of business on Friday. Last year, the Giant opened its doors at midnight, but after citing an increasing demand from shoppers, they made the decision to expand store hours. In 2012, retailers like Target and Walmart also opened early for eager shoppers. 750 of Macy's 800 stores will participate in the early open.
SoCal Honda's helpful guys in blue will be hitting the streets with an early trick-or-treat. Only this time, they will be treating thousands of families with pumpkins. The surprise comes because Honda wants to be sure tough economic times aren't scaring the fun out of Halloween. To make this happen, the car manufacturer had to buy out 24 pumpkin patches across Southern California. And it isn't just families receiving the gift. Kids at local hospitals will also get the surprise along with complimentary costumes and Halloween decorations. In celebration of Halloween fun, you can tweet the Helpful Honda guys at #HelpfulHalloween. Still ahead, hundreds came out in full Halloween gear to help raise money for a great cause. We'll take you inside this year's Haunted Ball.
Plus, celebrity guest speakers shared their personal stories in the hopes of empowering others. All that and much more.
We were lucky. Before we were ever treated for breast cancer, we planned for life after breast cancer. We made the choice
that breast cancer would not take something away from us.
No one chooses to get breast cancer. The only choice we have is how we will deal with it.
Cancer took my breasts, but my plastic surgeon gave them back.
Breast reconstruction made me feel like me again.
Before you're treated for breast cancer, get the facts. Women who are told about their breast reconstruction options report feeling in control and experiencing a higher quality of life after cancer.
I know because I am one of them.
I know because I am one of them.
I know because I am one of them.
Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
Halloween's just around the corner, and the Depot Restaurant in Old Torrance held its annual Halloween Ball to help raise funds for children with special needs. Reporter Haley Skeen was at the event and has more.
The turnout at this year's Halloween blowout surprised even the event's host, Chef Michael Schaefer.
Community businessmen come out here year after year after year and not only give, but give more each year.
For 15 years, Schaefer has hosted the costume party and auction to raise money for Pediatric Therapy Network, a nonprofit group in Torrance that treats children with special needs.
This was Chef Schaefer's brainchild, and we're really lucky to be the beneficiary of it.
And 9 years ago, it was Schaefer's turn to ask for PTN's help.
My youngest son, who's 13, when he was about 4, was speech delayed, and I finally went to them and I said, could you help us?
And helping children with developmental challenges is exactly what PTN does.
Everybody that works at PTN has this incredible love and passion for the kids that we see so that they can reach their full capabilities.
Through their clinic in downtown Torrance, PTN offers a variety of therapies for children, like early intervention, early Head Start, occupational, physical, and speech therapy, and even social skills training. As a nonprofit organization, PTN therapists can work one-on-one with each child until they see results.
It's just every day you see small changes and big changes, and it just makes such a difference in the kids' and families' lives.
More than 700 people showed up to support PTN at this year's ball. Guests were treated to delicacies like Chef Schaefer's legendary pumpkin corn chowder, chicken mole, and roast sirloin. And Des Duran from NBC's The Voice performed live for the costumed guests. Everyone who came contributed to the cause, and many walked away winners of some amazing raffle prizes. By the end of the night, nearly $250,000 was raised for PTN. For Schaefer, all of the planning that goes into this event is well worth it.
It is so rewarding to be able to take that chunk of money and give it directly to over 1,200 kids that the Pediatric Therapy Network services every year.
And PTN has found a generous way to say thank you to the Schaefer family.
Not only is my 13-year-old a 7th grader now, but he's a straight A student.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. Last year, the fundraiser hit top dollar, bringing in $200,000. And this year, Chef Schaefer says there's a new record. The event raised close to $230,000. You can find more information about PTN by going to pediatrictherapynetwork.org.
One day each year, the Red Cross in Torrance does a little something extra to say thank you to their donors. And for many, giving blood has become a part of what they do. Reporter Haley Skeen has more.
Mike Peters has always been passionate about giving back to his community, literally giving back.
A long time, like I said, over 200 donations.
He's donated more than 10 gallons of whole blood, but a few years ago he found an even greater way to give to his community. While whole blood donation is more common, there's actually a greater need for platelets. In this form of donation, they take the platelets out of the blood. It takes a bit longer, but it is far less draining on the body.
It's not the most fun in the afternoon or whenever you're here, but you know you did something positive.
Platelets are needed for blood clotting, commonly used for children with leukemia and accident victims. And our local hospitals need more than the Red Cross can supply.
We'll have to call our regular donors to see if they can come in, a little bit more frequently sometimes.
Although donors rarely see their generosity put to use, one leukemia patient did reach out to Peters.
I didn't know the little girl, didn't know the mother. Later on, they sent me a card, a big thank you card, and I still have that in my office.
All of the platelet donors seem bonded in their passion for the often faceless recipients.
We're a group that we have a feeling of giving to our community and helping out people. And so we are here to help save lives.
The mission is serious, but the atmosphere at the Red Cross is actually cheerful.
We know their families, we know what's going on in their lives, and so they're basically like a family.
For Peters, being a donor is an easy choice.
There's a way to make a difference.
It's an easy choice and a powerful one. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Haley Skeen.
Thanks, Haley. While nearly 40% of the population is able to give blood, only 8% actually do. The Red Cross in Torrance is open for donations 7 days a week. For more information, go to redcrossblood.org.
Recently, Torrance residents had a chance to participate in a cross-country torch relay walk to raise funds for the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. Our reporter Faith Lee has more.
To a lot of people who know Debbie Hayes, she's always cheerful, smiley, and friendly. But about 11 years ago, she went through one of the hardest times of her life.
Grant, when he was 2, the doctor discovered a murmur, so she sent us to Children's Hospital, thankfully, Children's Hospital of LA, and we went there and they discovered he had a large hole in his heart about the size of a quarter.
And then a few years later, she was busy keeping her second son alive.
And then my other son was born, if you will, with short fingers on his left hand and had reactive airway disease and GERD, and he needed ear tubes.
It was a tough time for her, but she never lost her positive energy.
Yes, it's emotional, but when you're in the thick of it, you gotta keep everything positive, and that's easy to do when you're working with Children's Hospital of LA.
Children's Hospital Los Angeles treated her 2 sons, and after a few surgeries, they're both perfectly healthy, running around like normal kids, even getting injured during a soccer game, which explains the crutches.
I wasn't allowed to play sports until I was, I think, 6 or 7, so I wanted to try soccer and still doing it.
And as a way to give back to the hospital that saved her 2 sons' lives, the Hayes joined the annual nationwide torch relay. They were among 300 other participants who came out to show their support.
The 7th stop of the cross-country torch relay is right here at the Torrance Beach, raising funds for Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
The Torrance leg of the relay raised over $20,000 this year, and part of the funds will be used toward improving the South Bay Outpatient Center.
It'll broaden the access of the services that we provide to the patients, as well as increasing the availability of our doctors and services provided to the South Bay community.
And you don't have to donate money to help the patients. Some of the youngest volunteers have found creative ways to give back.
I'm drawing a Dracula because I want to help the kids in the hospital so they can get well soon.
Thankfully for Hayes, her sons did get well, and the torch relay lets her help other kids in need.
They saved my boys, if you will. So what better way to give back than helping to raise funds so other kids can go on and lead normal lives.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Faith Lee.
Thanks, Faith. The torch relay will continue to make stops throughout the states until November 4th, but the fundraising does not stop until December 15th. If you would like to know more about this event, go to CHLA.org. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among American women, and the American Cancer Society estimates that about 1 in every 8 women, that's about 12% of the women in the U.S., will develop invasive breast cancer during their lifetime. And in honor of October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we talked with a woman who not only survived this disease, but is hoping to inspire others with her story.
Annette Bate has a lot of roles in her life. Sometimes she's a kickboxer. Sometimes she's a singer.
Cameron, he's got a pink shirt on.
And of all her roles, being a mom is her favorite. A devoted mother of 2, Bate thought she was never going to see her kids grow up.
I turned my back to the nurse. I was like, this is some kind of conspiracy. There's no way I could have kids. We don't have cancer in our family.
But she turned out to have one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer, and she needed to start chemotherapy immediately.
It was 17 rounds of chemo and 2 surgeries.
It's really hard to explain, really, the feeling of that, because there's a chance that your parent's going to die.
While undergoing treatments, Bate lost all her hair and felt the worst she's ever felt.
Everybody tries to put on a brave face, and everybody fell apart. The house falls apart when mommy has cancer.
And that made her children begin to question why someone so good was suffering so bad.
Why is she suffering when she's such a good person? She's a great person.
And Bate figured out the answer. Cancer wasn't for the weak. It was for someone like her who could handle this magnitude of a fight.
My daughter likes to write, and I came across one of her writings, and it said, "Everything will seem like a lost memory, but not everyone catches it. Only the lucky ones get it. And you may not think that that person is very lucky, but when you get cancer, you get to fight. You get to fight until the devil is no longer with us."
And it was the strength she needed to be where she is today, cancer-free since February this year.
I think it's a privilege if you're diagnosed early. If you catch it early, then you can fight and you can win.
And she realized that breast cancer can happen to anyone at any age.
What's happening is that very young women are getting breast cancer before the age of mammogram.
She now spends a lot of time raising funds for cancer support, research, and awareness.
I think that the research should be in treating the cancers that are not curable, such as the triple negative, and more awareness for younger women to check themselves.
In the end, breast cancer didn't take away Bates' role as a mother, but added one more to the list, a fighter.
I count each day as a blessing, and I still have my boxing gloves on, and I'm still fighting every day.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Faith Lee.
Thanks, Faith. Bates said when she was battling cancer, she attended free therapy sessions at the Cancer Support Community in Redondo Beach. The group will be fundraising at the Red Car Brewery on November 17th, and all proceeds go to free programs offered. For more information, go to cancersupportredondobeach.org.
Every other year, Providence Little Company of Mary Foundation hosts the Power of Pink Conference to empower women and help raise funds for services that the community depends on. Reporter Christy Wilcox was at the event and has more.
It was a day of empowerment.
Life-changing programs that benefit women and children in this community cannot exist without your help.
Of reconciliation.
I'm here to share the lessons I have learned while growing up, plowing through and thriving in the world of professional sports.
And just learning to put fear aside. These were the topics of discussion at the 11th Women's Wellness Power of Pink fundraising conference featuring keynote speaker Laura Ling.
I hope that people walk away just really valuing what we have and using that to give back.
Event proceeds help Providence Little Company of Mary Foundation take care of women and children through thick and thin. And Ling, who was in prison in North Korea after reporting on human trafficking in 2009, understands just how crucial that is.
It made me acutely aware of the freedom that I lost.
Event day shopping and auctions mean continued volunteer programs that supply immunization, breast screening, and annual physicals for those who can't get to the hospital. And for Patty Sullivan, it means sharing even more.
There's so many wonderful friends that take this time to be together.
According to the National Women's Law Center, women pay $1 billion more a year than men for the same individual health coverage in the U.S. However, some see body, mind, and spirit as a bigger piece of the puzzle, and that costs very little.
I think a lot of people, when they think of freedom, they think of being maybe, in captivity, of maybe in jail or something like that. But when you think of freedom, there's so many different things that come to mind.
Reporting for This Week in Torrance, I'm Christy Wilcox.
Thanks, Christy. You can find out more about donating to the organization by visiting providencepowerofgiving.org.
Torrance can now tout some big bragging rights after being awarded 2 top spots in some recent polls. The first was the FBI Safest Cities in America list, and the second was Livability.com's top 100 best places to live. While Livability ranked Torrance the 32nd best city to live in the United States, the FBI ranked Torrance as the 14th safest city to live in America. According to the FBI statistics, including robbery, property crime, murder, and rape, just to name a few, 9 out of top 20 cities were in the state of California. California cities in the top 10 include Santa Clarita, Glendale, Murrieta, Simi Valley, and Thousand Oaks, which was named 4th place and the highest-ranked city in California. Naperville, Illinois, took 2nd, and Cary, North Carolina, took the top spot. Coming up after the break, we'll give you a sneak peek at the next Spotlight Torrance.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults 15 to 29. And 1 person dies from melanoma every hour. It's time. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back. This week we have a special in-studio guest.
That's right. Christy Wilcox is here to tell us about an upcoming episode of Spotlight Torrance. Christy?
Thanks, Benjin. Haley did a great job earlier introducing viewers to Chef Michael Schaefer of the Depot restaurant, but I've got to tell you, I met many other people who are deeply committed to raising funds for the Pediatric Therapy Network. This year, the 18th annual Halloween Ball ended up setting new record numbers all the way around. And I got to say there was no skimping at this event. The event organizers work all year long to gather auctioned items. There were over 180 live and silent auction items, raffle and opportunity drawings. And they gave away everything from Lakers jerseys to beach cruisers, a diamond pendant, a Samsung Galaxy, and many trips, including a surf trip to Nicaragua and a trip for 2 to Tahiti. How would you like that? The first record was the number of attendees. Get this, 750 guests. Not only were the number of guests record-setting this year, but they also had 5 former ambassadors to attend alongside the current ambassador. Now, my highlight of the evening, and let me tell you, many others felt the same, was seeing professional singer Des Duran, who was best known for being on season 3 of the hit show The Voice. Make sure you check out Spotlight Torrance to see my interview with Des, and check out this very hot holiday event. And guys, they raised a whopping $230,000.
Wow.
It was absolutely incredible.
That's great news. Thank you, Christy. Well, we've got a few events to share with you. Torrance Women's Club will hold their annual Sock Hop fundraiser on Friday, October 25th, 2013 at 5 p.m. The 50s style event will be held at the Women's Club House located at 1422 Ingracia Avenue. During the event, attendees will have a short menu of hot dogs, hamburgers, french fries, and make your own sundaes along with other food items. And they will have the chance to compete in several contests to win door prizes. They ask you to RSVP by Monday, October 21st. Proceeds support Bob Hope Hollywood USO at LAX.
The Torrance Historical Society is hosting an evening of poetry on Sunday, October 27th at 5 p.m. This is a first-time event, so be prepared to be spooked by the ghosts of Hamlet, the Headless Horseman, or Dr. Frankenstein's monster while listening to featured readings of Edgar Allan Poe. Costumes are welcome, so feel free to dress up for the event.
Come and help West High School's All Sports Booster Club as they host their annual Pancake Breakfast event on Saturday, November 2nd from 7 to 11 a.m. The event will take place at 20401 Victor Street, and the cost is just $5.
Now it's time to catch some highlights from Juan Hernandez.
Juan, what do you have for us?
Hey there, welcome to the Sports Desk, and thanks for checking in. This week we get the anticipated matchup between last year's Pioneer League co-champs, South and North High Volleyball throwing down. See who gets an early beat on the race for this year's Pioneer League title. As always, we're here on CitiCABLE 3 at 4 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. See you there.
Thanks, Rod. Well, that's it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain, and if you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Be sure to like our page to get the latest updates on what's going on in Torrance.
That's facebook.com/This Week in Torrance TV. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.